Hello viewers and welcome to Export Digest, your #1 program that periscopes the non-oil export sector. On this program, we propose non-oil exports as Nigeria's alternative economic mainstay, highlight the opportunities therein and explore strategies to exploit these opportunities. We also seek to identify and proffer solutions to challenges in the export sector to enable practitioners and policymakers alike craft a way forward in improving on their respective roles. I am Femi Boyede.
My name is Ken Okalha, the President of the National Association of Nigerian Traders, NANS.
I am Obinaya C. Urwapa, Personal Development Trainer, Public Affairs Analyst and an entrepreneur.
Keep watching
Export Digest.
Export Digest.
Don't change it out.
Our dependence on oil for very many years killed our innovation and ability to develop our local industries. Manufacturing efforts and industrial capacity utilization went down. Now very few industries are still in existence. The economy is basically surviving on micro, small and medium scale enterprises. Suffice to say that most MSMEs are struggling with poor infrastructure and the other hardships of operating a profitable business in Nigeria. Bottom line, oil has failed us. The cry to revert to non-oil exports must be yielded to, and as quickly as possible. We have all finally agreed to the fact that our economy has been largely dependent on the dollar. We consume so much and produce so little. A good part of what we consume are mostly imported. Hence, we have permitted the dollar, which is the currency of importation, to determine the price of commodities. The simple math is for us to produce more, not only for our local consumption, but more than enough and so much for us to export into the nations of the earth, such that in the same global markets where we have always gone to buy, we also can sell and become a big player. This will help in bringing the hard currencies home. So please, follow us on the journey to navigate through the enormous potential that Nigeria has to use export as the turnaround strategy for our ailing economy.
Hello, I'm Denise.
My name is Yinka Titiloye. I'm a farmer. Welcome to the Eat Agro Model Farm.
I'm Craig Waters from Oklahoma State University.
Watch Export Digest.
Watch Export Digest.
Watch Export Digest.
Going further in the bid to retrace our steps, let us today take a look at the manufacturing sector. Once upon a time, some sections of our major cities were dedicated to industries, giving rise to industrial layouts that we grew up knowing, working in, and hearing of. Kano, Ibadan, Zaria, Kaduna, Calabar, Benin, Port Harcourt, and Lagos, for instance, all had many industries. How disheartening to see that the big factories have now been converted to banks, worship centers, or even event centers. Those ventures are considered more profitable since the operations of the factories can no longer be sustained. The trend bred unemployment, loss of revenue, and ultimately turned our purchasing desire towards foreign products rather than promote patronage of local content. The result is what we now find ourselves in: economic recession. Export Digest sampled the opinions of Nigerians on moribund factories. Hear them.
In those days, we used to have Kaduna textiles, those Ankaras and all those things. You can imagine now that those things are being made in West Africa, like in Ghana, Senegal, and Cote d'Ivoire. They are now bringing them into Nigeria. So the government really needs to help us in the area of those providing maybe soft loans and all those things to resuscitate the textile industry. and more so that the electricity is taking shape, right? So they can just help us. Because it's not everything you want to buy. Majority of these things in those days used to be, Nigeria used to be the hub in West Africa. Now you're not going to Michelin has moved out of Nigeria, Dunlop, all of them are now in Ghana. It's not every time you now start looking at oil, or look at the price of crude oil and the world market. So it's not even it's a no-go area for us. Now let us think outside the box.
Number one is the cotton, textile, and garment value chain. The textile and garment industry used to be one of the biggest employers of labor, and will continue to be if the right attention is paid to it. You can decide not to eat for 3 days, but if you do not wear clothes for 3 days, even in your own house, there will be a problem. So textile and garment is a very basic essential of life, which makes it a very, very good business, makes it a job creator, makes it a wealth creator. So together with all stakeholders, we have to join hands to make sure that the cotton, textile, and garment subsector is resuscitated by all means available. And government has to lead the way in local patronage and in deploying actions that will even bring existing policies to begin to re-engineer that subsector.
I feel that there are some small enterprises the government should look into this. For example, I started the fish farming, and I found out that little things that I need that I couldn't cook as a person. If you talk about the textile, I think textile is big. There are some small enterprise business that I believe you should be able to approach the bank and get some loan and pay back. But it appears everybody in Nigeria have been labeled the same. There's nothing to go to the bank to get. I'm talking about the small enterprise, not even the big industry for now. I think we should fall back from there. Then from there we can go on.
Despite the enormity of the hiccups faced by industries, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is still functioning. While many of their members have closed shop, relocated to other neighboring countries, or are almost caving in under loans that daily escalate via compound interest and other obligations, the body has done well to not give up. We bring you our engagement with man, especially as it relates to the efforts at resuscitating the capacity of the body to steer Nigeria back to economic glory.
In these days when many companies are shutting down, government will have a kind of re-engineered look towards the sourcing of equipment and some of the critical raw materials that will keep some of these industries running. If we want to encourage made in Nigeria, for people to patronize made in Nigeria, you have to produce in Nigeria. And for you to produce in Nigeria, there are definitely foreign components. And that's why I think government should first of all encourage exports of non-oil products. If possible, subsidize those areas. Targeted subsidy. We cannot be subsidizing consumption, non-productive things. We should be able to subsidize the productive sector that can actually earn foreign exchange, and in those areas that people can also earn their own foreign exchange to source for their own equipment. Now, coming to government direct effort in local patronage, there must be a deliberate purchase of made in Nigeria goods by procurement agencies. One of the biggest complaints of a lot of manufacturers is that they do not get adequate government patronage. Therefore, we want to implore procurement agencies at different levels, federal, state, local government, to patronize products and services that are made in Nigeria that are actually of standard, and there are lots of them available. So we believe that government can do more, not only in the area of patronage, but also in the area of encouragement of export, and also in the area of helping producers to reduce their costs in some deliberate interventions that are targeted at critical productive sectors of the economy.
The first major problem the existing exporters have, especially those who are into transformation, processors, is because they have debts that are carrying a huge cost, and some of them, that debt burden alone is not making them to breathe, it's choking them. So what we expect will have been that government should have provided for refinancing some of the loans, especially those ones that are like 25%, 20%, for a 9% money. That's one. If that is done, it will go a long way, rather than saying that you are giving new monies for an establishment of another factory. For example, in cocoa, if you will buy any machine today in the name of expansion or starting a new factory, it's not, you cannot get it on the shelf, you can only get it on order. For that reason, refinancing probably is the way to go. If you open your LCs for machines today, you need 16 to 18 months before it can mean anything. So if government wants to begin to see quick winning in the policy, then the government must make sure that they go back and work on the financing aspect. And if possible, also increase the volume of capital so that we can increase the scope.
My name is Ken Okalha, the president of the National Association of Nigerian Traders, NANS.
I have been C. Urwapa, personal development trainer, public affairs analyst, and an entrepreneur.
Keep watching
Export Digest.
Export Digest.
Don't change it out.
The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry seems to have broken even in encouraging a lot of economic activities. Lagos has been and is still the commercial nerve center of the nation. FCCI has endeavored to maintain this feat. Let us take a look at efforts aimed at promoting export of locally made goods.
The LCCI does a very rigorous internal review of the situation with the non-oil sector to know where there are gaps that require action on several fronts: legislative intervention, executive intervention, or organized private sector intervention. We take it from there and move it further. We have invited on one or two occasions key ministers in the cabinet of the president, including His Excellency the Vice President himself, Professor Subanjo, GCON, to come and listen to us on the policy initiatives that we believe will drive the development of the non-oil sector, including exportation out of the country. And we've had very good feedbacks. Now, taking it away from the engagement with executive members of government, we are now planning engagement with the legislative arm of government in order to see what legislative interventions will be made to promote exports. We are also engaging the Nigerian Customs Service, and we have requested a meeting with the new Controller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali, retired, to discuss with him to remove the impediments to exports of cargo from Nigeria, whether bulk or containerized, to make it simplifying the process. And we have had another engagement with the Nigerian Shippers Council. The Executive Secretary, Bello, was with us. Hassan Bello was with the council, hosted by the President of the Chamber. And we discussed with him at length about the various issues that are bedeviling that sector, particularly from the part of the export sector, particularly from the aspect of the operations of the terminal operators and the shipping companies. Come to think of it, one of the primary outputs of our interaction with him for over 2 hours was that if the government is encouraging exports from the country, then why is it that the terminal operators are introducing terminal charges for exports? detention fees for export containers taken to load cargo outside the ports, and even increasing their charges, because these are items that will add to the cost of exports and may make our items uncompetitive in the global markets. Now, beyond that, we are even calling now stakeholder engagements. With this, on October 12th, we are having a major export seminar in the premises of the chamber to discuss the current impediments to export from Nigeria, whether finished products or raw materials. We're also going to discuss what are the likely impact of new policy initiatives by the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment on the export industry in this country. Note that most of our members are key manufacturers. We form the critical mass that help to shape government policy. And most of our members are manufacturers, export many of their products, both by road, by air and by sea, within the sub-region, continentally and overseas. So I think the Lagos Chamber of Commerce should be seen as a first among equals, not the chambers of commerce, in terms of driving exports.
Hello, I'm Denise.
My name is Yinka Titiloye. I'm a farmer. Welcome to the Itagro Model Farm.
I'm Craig Waters from Oklahoma State University.
Watch Export Digest.
Watch Export Digest.
Watch Export Digest.
Against all odds, quite a number of manufacturers are still operational and can compete favorably well with their counterparts all over the world in the global market. It should not come as a surprise that some of them are already exporting. With their experience, we can appreciate the potential of not just producing for local use, but for export purposes, wherein lies the nation's return to wealth and economic empowerment.
In spite of all the odds that we find ourselves in and the difficulties of the Nigerian economy today, there are companies like my group, the TGI Group, that has developed local brands in the country and has taken them into the world and promoted them. Like, for instance, the Chivita juice that you all know about has been a local brand in this country, and today it is an international brand. It's going around most other countries. It's on every international flight leaving Nigeria. There are other companies within the group that are involved in value-added agro-processing also to meet export standards that will go around the world. These are some of our plans, and this is just to add support to government for non-oil exports.
Those we have showcased have by far underscored the need for adopting export as a winning strategy to surmount the challenge of recession. Next is to let you into inexhaustible opportunities, ideas, and know-how of exports. This we shall be considering over subsequent episodes. Don't miss them.
My name is Ken Okauha, the president of the National Association of Nigerian Traders, NANS.
I am Obinaya C. Urwapa, personal development trainer, public affairs analyst, and an entrepreneur.
Keep watching
Export Digest.
Export Digest.
Don't change it out.
Be part of our Export Readiness Workshop, which holds on November 16 and 17 at the Nikon Luxury Hotel, Abuja. During the two-day event, you will be armed with unique export solutions that will catapult your export business to profitable levels and spur your creativity on. If you are yet to start your own export business, that is. The information is now showing on your screen. Kindly get in touch through our communication channels for more enquiries on registration procedures. One of the major steps that are necessary in growing and sustaining a country's economy is to improve the ease of doing business. The Corporate Affairs Commission has been doing a lot in order to continuously improve Nigeria's business environment. Let us take in a few of these from the Registrar General.
Initially, it was only in Abuja that you can register a company directly. Otherwise, you have to go through our state offices. From there, we send the files physically to us in Abuja, and then when we register, now we send back certificate to them, and they will give you, and that takes time. But now we have decentralized our operations. Apart from Abuja office, Lagos office can do the same thing that we can do here. In Lagos, we have two offices, both Yawa and Alausa. Alausa has now moved to, the Yawa has now moved to Marina. And then we have in the north, we have Kano and in Kaduna. We have in the south again, we have Enugu and we have Port Harcourt. In all these offices, you can start and finish your registration there without having to come to Abuja, and you get the certificates right there. That's one of the achievements. And we are going to, within this year, spread this all over the country. Wherever you go in the offices, you can register there, your company. Initially, it was only business that you can register. But now you can register even companies, limited liability companies in our offices. That's the centralization of our operations, and you can start and finish there. We have initiated a reduction of filing fees. This is in conjunction with the Ministry of Commerce or Trade. Our fees have been reduced by about 50%. Those who register companies from 2 million to 500 million, they enjoy a reduction of 50% of our filing fees. And those registering from 500 million above, they enjoy 25% reduction. So the fees have been slashed. We now have what we call new company registration portal, called CRP. Initially, the one that we had, it has some problems. You cannot use it online. It's only being used internally. But now the one that we have, the new one that we have, is that lawyers and other customers can start business with us from the comfort of the offices. That means anywhere you are, even if you are out of the country, you can assist us and do registration online.
Hello, I'm Denise.
My name is Yinka Titiloye. I'm a farmer. Welcome to the Itagro Model Farm.
I'm Craig Waters from Oklahoma State University.
Watch Export Digest.
Watch Export Digest.
Watch Export Digest.
Well, that is the much we can take today on Export Digest. We have looked seriously into the diminishing contribution of manufacturing to Nigeria's economy, basically due to the challenges of the operating environment. We have also shown that manufacturing exports actually play a critical role in our strive to come out of the woods of economic recession. This is where we draw the curtain on today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. We do hope that you are getting more and more motivated to exports with the possibilities that are unfolding and getting yourself export educated. As you well know, our goal remains to continue to expand your knowledge and enhance your readiness to export. Please remember, you can watch this particular episode and others before it on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Export Digest. Please continue to send in your comments, observations, and contributions as we continue on our march towards making Nigeria a viable exporting nation and lead our viewers into the hidden secrets of export treasures. Our channels of communications are open and now showing on your screen. We thank the Corporate Affairs Commission for their support thus far, even as we invite other trade support institutions like the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC, the Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority, NEPZA, Bank of Industry, BOI, NEXIM, Nigeria Shippers Council, etc., to also lend their support. Small businesses and conglomerates are also invited. Of course, by showcasing your businesses, goods and services on this program, you will not only be helping us to pay for our airtime and cost of production, You will also be expanding the corporate mileage you get for your brand, products, and services. We therefore invite you to come on board by calling us today, and you will be glad you did.
My name is Ken Okauha, the president of the National Association of Nigerian Traders, NATS.
I have been C. Urwapa, personal development trainer, public affairs analyst, and an entrepreneur.
Keep watching
Export Digest.
Export Digest.
Don't change it out.
Join us same time on this same channel next week for another eye-opening package of Export Digest. I remain yours sincerely, Femi Boyede. See you again, and God bless Nigeria.